Welcome, friends of the Greasy Shop Rag. I come to you today from the hoist at work where I've got the big ass station wagon Yukon XL up here. I just picked up some new skins for it. General Grabber ATXs. I think I'm going to like those. But what I'm working on today is I'm going to mount a snowplow on here. Now this is just a 1500 Yukon. But Hiniker does offer, or they did offer, a lightweight blade for this, for half-ton trucks. And because we're a Hiniker dealer, sometimes we end up with leftovers of obsolete blades or whatever. So I'm pretty much doing it because I can get a good deal on it. If I do all the work myself, that helps too. But right away, I'm running into some problems because Hiniker doesn't make a mount for this vehicle. So the first bracket I have to put on, it's got to go right here. So I'm going to have to trim this pocket for the tow hook, which is no big deal. But because I have a 3.5-inch lift on here, I'm hoping that I can make a drop bracket and not have to trim this valance down here to clear the horns for the blade. So that's how far I am right now. Alright, so that was easy enough to fix the problem with the valance interfering with the frame drop bracket here at the tow hook. I just cut it right along here with a cut-off wheel on a 4-inch grinder. Everything fits in there fine. This is the left side bracket. If I bolted this framework in there right now, this would be hitting the bottom of this valance here, and I'd have to cut this all out, which is no big deal to cut that, I guess. I was kind of hoping not to bastardize it, just because if I ever take the blade off or sell the vehicle, it won't look like crap. But the other problem I have is Hiniker wants this bottom edge 10 inches off the ground. If I just bolt this in here right now, it's going to be 15 inches off the ground. And I'm not no rocket scientist, but I don't think that's going to work. So the next thing I'm looking at is how to modify this plow carriage to drop these receivers, or I don't know what they call these. Anyway, I guess pointy things. I got to drop this, I'm thinking 4 inches. The good thing is it'll get it underneath the valance, and that'll look decent. The bad thing is it's a lot of dinking around. I mean, do I make a bracket for these 5 bolts, or do I somehow move this whole bracket up off of these 2 bolts? And that's what I'm leaning towards. So let's see what I come up with. Job, but someone's got to do it. Get it? A boring job. You know, like boring a hole. Yeah. So I'm about 3.5 hours into this project since I pulled it, the big ass station wagon into the garage. And I decided to lower the push beam to get it to the right height off the ground, and so I wouldn't have to trim my valance. So the last 2 hours have just been measuring and dicking around and machine work. I mean, you know, cutting pieces of steel in the bandsaw. And now I find that I don't have a 5/8 drill bit that I need, but I got a 19/32, and I'm going to use I'm going to use this right angle grinder and this Mac deburring tool to take them holes out to 5/8 of an inch, which isn't the worst thing anyway, because, you know, I just kind of eyeballed where the hole's got to be, and I'll probably have to ream them anyway. So it is what it is. It just takes time. Luckily, I'm not flat rating this thing or whatever. It's just my own project, so it don't matter. We got time for a cookie break. All right, we're back. I'm caught up with as far as I'm going to go tonight on this project. I had so many little, not breakdowns, but just problems. Didn't have a 5/8 drill bit. My grinder broke down. The plasma cutter wasn't working worth a damn. Just a lot of little excuses that would have made this a disaster if it was an hourly install, but it's not. So let me show you what I did. First of all, you can see that the push arm is well below the valance, and I did not have to cut anything. I'm hoping that the bottom of this right here is going to be 10 inches off the ground. We'll check that in a little bit. So what I did was I made this plate right here. So normally this bolt would have been through here, and this would have been 4 inches higher. Put a spacer behind this plate to compensate for the thickness of this plate. And as far as strength goes, I mean, I should be fine. I'm using thicker steel than they are. I had considered putting a beam in here just to strengthen it up from rocking left and right, but you know, with this lightweight blade, I don't think I have to worry about it. So let's bring this thing down, and we'll see if I'm in that 10-inch range. I'm guessing it's going to be 11 inches off the ground. The book calls for 10. Well, let's see what we got. Grab my handy dandy tape measure. Holy crap. 11 1/8. Green Lake High School to the rescue. All right, well that'll work. It's not the prettiest thing on the front of it, but once I clean it up and get some black paint on there, you'll never even see that I was having problems with the plasma cutter. And technically, if I want, 4 bolts will take off. Not these bolts, but the ones above it. I could take those off and remove this push beam if I wanted to do some wheeling or whatever. That'd be no big deal to get them 4 bolts off of there. So we'll pick this back up tomorrow. All right, it's the next day. So I slept on it a little bit, and I thought about whether or not I wanted to put a cross member in here to kind of beef this up so it wouldn't move left and right. And you know what? What I've got going on here is way heavier than what the factory had, so I'm not worried about it. Now, the next step is going to be to take this big mess here and turn it into a functioning snowplow. I do have a few concerns though. Not that there's so many pieces or anything like that, but that this bag with these hydraulic fittings and some electrical parts was open. That means somebody grabbed a piece out of there that they couldn't find off the shelf here in the shop. That also means that they probably didn't return the piece in there, and most likely I'm not going to be able to put this thing together today. So I'm starting out with a pissy attitude. Wow. This project's been fighting me the whole way. Now, forklift is out of gas. Just goes to show you, it's always something. Alright, I've been doing some wiring here, and I decided to put my solenoid up here. Let's see if I can get some more light on that for you. So this is just the support for the battery tray, and I'm powering it from the battery side of that fuse block back there, which is just a short run to this positive cable. The ground is down on the engine block. I got to tidy up them wires yet, but I was trying to find keyed power under here, and the only thing I could find that was keyed was critical, like you know, the fuel pump or something. I'm not hooking my snowplow up to the fuel pump circuit. So what we got is, you know, even in the fuse panel here, nothing keyed. That wasn't critical. So there's this block right here. I don't know what the hell it's for, but I found keyed power on it, and I'll use that. And way back up in there, behind this block, is where I drilled an 1 1/8 hole to pass this this, where is it? Right there, that plug through that hole, and that'll hook up to my plow controller. All right, back to wiring. All right, we got the plow mounted. Let's take a look at it. Got the big ass station wagon and a Hiniker 7.5 foot tilt lift blade. I think these are obsolete. I don't know, they stopped making them. Don't know if they just didn't sell them or if they're having problems, but price was right, so I'm okay with it. So it is still a full featured blade. I mean, we have a full length trip edge underneath, stainless mold board, steel frame. But you'll notice there's no plow lights on here, and I'll show you why. Here's our controller. Tilt lift. The blade still floats when it's on the ground, so you still be able to stack snow. Here's the springs on that trip edge. Pretty heavy. We'll put it back down. I want you to see that that blade does not weigh a lot. Look how little bit this vehicle drops when I hit the button. Maybe a 1/2 inch. That's not much. I don't think it angles as far as a pro grade blade. It'll be just fine for my driveway. So that's all I got for you on the Hiniker blade install. Thanks for watching. Later.